am so excited to be able to announce the next badass. She's been an American civil rights activist, feminist, and political strategist, and she is now the National Progressive and Grassroots Engagement Director for the Biden-Harris campaign. Let you all welcome Heather Booth.
Ain't no stopping us now, and ain't no stopping all of us badass women in this fight that we are in between freedom and an unhinged, violent, chaotic rule. It's really up to us. We have changed the world when we organize, especially on reproductive freedom. In 1965, when I was 19 years old in college, hospitals dedicated whole wards to septic abortion patients, and the mob controlled who performed abortions, often because it was illegal. A friend told me his sister was pregnant and not ready to have a child. They asked for my help in finding someone to provide an abortion, and I didn't really know what to do. In those days, we barely ever talked about sex, let alone abortion, outside of our most intimate relationships. But I thought I would help a friend in need based on moral and concern values. I found a wonderful doctor, Dr. T.R.M. Howard, much more to his history, but he performed the procedure. It was successful, and I thought that was the end of my connection. But word spread, and someone else called. I set that up, and then word spread and someone else called. And so many women were coming through this service that I recruited others into it. But because 3 people talking about performing an abortion in 1965 in Chicago was a conspiracy to commit a felony, we said we'd call the service Jane. And we said, pregnant, don't want to be, call Jane. The women of Jane learned how to do the procedures. And between 1969 and 1973, when because we organized, Roe became the law of the land, the women of Jane themselves performed 11,000 safe abortions. Since Dobbs overturned Roe 2 years ago, overturned Roe, which Donald Trump just said was great. By the way, has anyone thought he should get out of this race? He should get out of this election. Since that overturning, the badass women of this country like you have been proving once again, it is up to us. When we organize, we've enshrined reproductive rights in state constitutions, like in Virginia, elected officials who will protect reproductive freedom. Ain't no stopping us now. We know the unhinged and violent MAGA candidates want a national abortion ban, one that would have politicians make this most intimate decision in our lives about when or whether or with whom we have a child. But because you are organizing, we will change this world again. And when we win this next election, taking back the House, gaining true control of the Senate, with President Biden and Vice President Harris, we will codify Roe and expand access to contraception. Badass women will do it. And helping to lead this charge is one of the great organizers, inspiring leader, voice for justice and freedom, courageous and fearless, and one of the greatest badass women of all, the Vice President of the United States and our champion, Kamala Kamala Harris.
Greetings to the Women's Summit, and thank you to Network Nova for bringing everyone together today. And thank you to all of the incredible grassroots leaders in the room for all your hard work and dedication. Every election, it is you all that are on the front lines. You organize, you energize, you mobilize. You knock on doors, you text and you call and you write postcards. And because of your tireless support, Joe Biden is President of the United States, and I am the first woman to be elected Vice President of the United States. And this November, we will win again. And we need your support. There is so much at stake this November, our most fundamental freedoms. The freedom to be safe from the horror of gun violence. The freedom to love who you love openly and with pride. The freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have the government telling her what to do. You know, my entire career, I have fought to protect the health, safety, and well-being of women and children as District Attorney of San Francisco, as Attorney General of California, as the United States Senator, and now as Vice President of the United States. So I am deeply aware of how much is at stake at this very moment, in particular for the women of our nation and the people of our nation. In this moment, we each face a question. What kind of country do we want to live in? Do we want to live in a country of liberty, freedom, and rule of law, or a country of disorder, fear, and hate? Each of us has the power to answer that question with our feet, with our voice, and with our vote. This election, we are counting on you. So please continue to energize, organize, and mobilize. Please continue to fight for our most fundamental freedoms. And as we all know, when we fight, we win. Thank you all. Please take care.